Hey guys, it's Troy and welcome to another video. So today I want to talk about 7 things that I wish I'd known about dating when I was a younger man. Because believe it or not, I was young once and there's plenty of things that I've learned since that I wish I'd have known about back then. So let's dive in. So the first one is rejection is no big deal. So when I was younger, I was just obsessed with the idea of rejection. And I genuinely believed that if I got rejected by a woman that I was interested in, that would be the end of the world. I genuinely thought that rejection was such a big deal that I had to avoid it at all costs. And I can tell you for nothing that avoiding rejection at all costs is a really bad strategy for life. Not least because it's not even really possible. Because all of us have to suffer rejection of one form or another every single day. There's nobody out there who goes through life and has no rejection at all. It just doesn't happen, all right? And even just within the dating realm, you know, you guys think, oh, Chad, he's getting all of this success. He never gets rejected. He never gets turned down, blah. It's not true. Everybody faces rejection at some time or another. Even celebrities, even A-listers, even NBA stars, musicians, whatever it is. All of them face rejection at some point or another from women that they're interested in. Why? Because women have hugely divergent tastes, okay? A woman who is interested in me is not going to be interested perhaps in the next guy, and a woman who's interested in that guy is not going to be interested in me. Women are very diverse in terms of their tastes. You know, there are some women that think I'm fantastic, they think I'm amazing, and there are plenty of others who think quite the opposite of that, and I'm sure some of them will comment below. So look, I mean, people have different tastes, and you're never going to appeal to everybody's taste. And apart from that, you know, there are different circumstances in people's lives. You know, maybe she's got a boyfriend, maybe she's married, whatever it is, okay? So rejection is ever present, and you just have to kind of accept that. Do you know what I mean? You can't sort of like get around it. So you might as well get right with it, accept it as part of the process, and move forward from there. Because otherwise, what are you going to do? You know, if you try to hide from rejection your whole life, you're going to be in your basement, eating crisps, sitting on the computer complaining, and you're not going to be having a constructive life. The more that you lean into rejection in all areas, in dating, yes, but also in creative work, in building a business, in, you know, sports, whatever it is, the more that you lean into rejection, the better life you're going to have. Following on from that, point number 2 of the 7 things I wish I'd known about dating as a younger man, point number 2 is just because one woman is not attracted to you does not mean that all women are not attracted to you. I'll say that again. Just because one woman is not attracted to you does not mean that all women are not attracted to you. Now, I emphasize that point because this was a fallacy that I fell into as a younger guy. And I suppose, in a strange way, it kind of makes sense because my thinking was, well, look, women are attracted to certain elements in a guy, and clearly, because this girl here has rejected me, I don't have those elements, because if I did, presumably she would like me. So therefore, if I don't have the elements and she's recognised that, then surely I'm just going to get rejected by all other females because they're looking for kind of broadly the same thing. That was my thinking at the time. I mean, now, of course, you look back and you realise it doesn't make a lot of sense. But that's the mindset that I was in. And maybe some of you watching this are as well. So that is not true. It's just bad thinking. It doesn't logically make sense, okay? Because I return to point 1 again. The truth of the matter is that women, like men, have very divergent tastes in terms of what they like, what they're attracted to. I mean, yes, of course, there are broad outlines. And there are things that, you know, we can and should do in order to improve in certain areas, without a doubt. But fundamentally, just because you get turned down by one girl, it doesn't mean that you're automatically going to get turned down by every other woman on the planet. It just doesn't work like that. It's just not numerically possible. There are too many people in the world. There are too many women in the world for it to follow that because you don't meet the criteria for one, you're not going to meet the criteria for any others. So don't get into that mindset. Don't buy into that thinking. It's just not true. It's not going to do you any good. The next thing, number 3 of the things that I wish I'd known about dating as a younger guy, looks are important, but they're not that important. Now I've shared this on videos recently on this channel, I've, been influenced in my earlier days by black pill style thinking, this idea it's all about looks. If I don't look a certain way, I'm going to get no traction in the market, I'm going to die alone, I'm going to be a genetic dead end, bloody, bloody, blah, all of that stuff. We've all heard the song before, okay? What I discovered to actually be the case when I went out into the real world and started to interact with people was that, yes, of course, looks have a bearing on your attractiveness. I mean, you would be an idiot to suggest otherwise. Of course, that's the case. But they're not everything. And it's certainly not a situation where, for most people, I guarantee for most people watching this video, it's certainly not a situation where you can't, A, improve your looks in some shape or form, and B, help to sort of override them with other elements of your character, your presentation, the way that you put yourself across, okay? So looks, yeah, absolutely, they're important, they're a big deal. Do what you can to improve them. But at the end of the day, it's not the only factor, and they're not the most important factor either. Number 4, and this is continuing from that point, the way that you carry yourself does make a huge difference in dating. All right, the way that you carry yourself makes a huge difference in dating. What I mean by that is really the way that you present socially, okay? The way that you speak, your tonality, the volume of your voice, your eye contact, your dominance, your stature, your gait, what you wear, the way you look, the things you talk about, how you command the conversation, all of this stuff. The way that you carry yourself and the way that you put yourself across in social situations makes a huge difference to your success. And those things are within your control. Yes, I get that some people, are more shy than others. Some people are introverts. I certainly am both of those things, or was both of those things. I still am an introvert. I was very shy. I'm probably less shy now, but I quite like my own company. I quite like not being the center of attention. I quite like not being in a huge crowd. But with practice and with persistence, you can overcome those natural proclivities and you can start to be much better in social situations. That makes a massive, massive difference in terms of your dating market value. If I'd have known that years ago, then I could have been working on those things and improving myself instead of being down on myself, complaining and getting very unhappy in the process. Number 5, and this is important, I think, as far as this channel is concerned and talking about this stuff in general. Learning dating skills need not be sleazy. All right, now I had this idea back in the day that learning about how to improve in terms of your social skills, to understand the dating marketplace, to improve in terms of dating, I had this idea that it was incredibly sleazy, a bit grubby. Even when I was a lot younger, there were books around about this kind of thing. There were ways to get instruction, but I always shied away from it. It always seemed a bit like, well, you should know that stuff intuitively, and if you don't, you're kind of less than. And anyway, it's all a bit grubby, a bit seedy kind of thing. And then I read The Game by Neil Strauss and various other things, and I started to learn more about this space. And what I realized was that actually, fundamentally, what this all comes down to is self-improvement. What this all comes down to is creating the best version of ourselves and ensuring, even more importantly than that the marketing of ourselves is as good as it can possibly be, okay? And that's not sleazy. That's just optimization, okay? There's nothing sleazy about that. It's about optimizing and it's about putting yourself forward in the best possible way that you can. It's marketing, essentially. And also the other thing to say is that human interactions and the way that men and women interact and other groups within society, fascinating stuff. This, after all, is at the root of much of our great art, much of our great literature, much of our great painting, drama, etc., etc., etc. So why not study this stuff, particularly if there's a social benefit from it as well. So, number 6, you don't have to lose whatever is special about you in order to be successful in this area. Now, an issue that I had, again, back in the day, was I thought that if I had any hope at all of being successful in terms of dating and socializing and all of that stuff, I would have to become somebody else. I would have to say goodbye to the bookish, introvert kind of dude, and I would have to become the Chad. I would have to be talking about football the whole time and whatever, playing computer games. I don't know what. I would have to become somebody else. I couldn't be myself and also be successful. And what I discovered was that is absolutely untrue. That actually what you're aiming at is not to be somebody different. You're not aiming at being somebody else. You want to be yourself, but you've got to ensure that you're putting yourself across in the best way that you can. You've got to ensure that your marketing is tip-top and that the message that you're putting out there to the market, in inverted commas, is the best one that you can put out there, okay? So you don't have to lose whatever that specialness about yourself. You don't have to become somebody else that you don't like. You're still yourself, but you're just putting yourself out there in a much more effective manner, okay? And you can have a lot of fun with this because as you get better with these social skills and you get more confident and you get more adept at this stuff, then you can really start to influence other people around you because you're no longer frightened of sharing the things that you enjoy, the things that you like, the music you like, the experiences you like. You're happy to put that stuff out there and people will buy into it, which is really, really cool when that starts to happen. And finally, last but not least, dating success is important for a balanced life, but on its own, it won't make you happy. And I can tell you guys that from a long time of immersion in all of this stuff, and quite frankly, probably too much immersion, certainly in my 20s as a young guy. I saw a level of success that I could only have dreamed of when I was a kid. Did it make me happy? Absolutely not, right? Because, yes, it's nice to date cool women. It's nice to have these crazy experiences. It's nice to travel and meet different people and all this kind of stuff. Why not? Fantastic. But that in itself is not going to make you happy. And somebody else, another person, is not going to make you happy. They can certainly bring great joy to your life. They can certainly share amazing experiences with you and all of that good stuff. But in the end, and it's a cliche, but I'm afraid it's true, happiness has to come from somewhere else. It has to come from within, guys. It really does. I know, I'm sorry, it's a cliche, but it's really, really true. You can't think, I'll just get this dating stuff down and then I'm just going to be happy and everything's going to be amazing. I mean, yeah, it may improve the quality of your life in some ways, but you also need to do the inner work as well, okay, in order to get right with yourself and right with your place in the world. And somebody else isn't going to do that for you. All right, so that's it. 7 things I wish I'd known about dating as a younger man. Rejection is no big deal. Just because one woman is not attracted to you doesn't mean that all women are not attracted to you. Number 3, looks are important, but not that important. Number 4, the way that you carry yourself does make a big difference. Number 5, learning dating skills need not be sleazy. Number 6, you don't have to lose whatever makes you to be successful. And number 7, dating success is important for a balanced life, but on its own, it won't make you happy. Hope you enjoyed that. A little bit of an insight there into some of my thought processes about this over the years. Let me know your thoughts below, what you think about this stuff, some of the lessons you wish you'd learned. If you want more from this channel, please do hit subscribe. Really helps me to build the audience, keep putting out this free content. Hit the notifications bell also. Get on my free email list. There's a link to that below in the description. You can support me on Patreon. And also, if you want to read my writing about dating and the dating marketplace, then grab Renegade Dating Blueprint. It's only $39 at the moment. You can get it on the link below. I'll leave it there for now. Bye-bye.